Jqueezy in the morning, baby. It's your host, JQueezy. Got another episode for you folks. I have a feeling it's going to be a pretty damn good one. As usual, my co-host, always to the right, the G-Man himself. What's up, G-Man?
What up, man? What up?
Yay. And always to the left, you know him as Nick, the producer. Nick, how you feeling, man?
What's up? I'm good, dog. Glad to be here, as always.
Yeah. And our guest, special guest, we got Big Beto.
Shit, what it is, man? I ain't. Oh, you know what? Hold up. I don't think I should be a guest anymore, honestly. Come on, guys. Let's take a vote.
We'll say you're a fixed permanent.
We need to make a title, I guess.
We'll come up
Permanent residential.
We'll come up with an official title. But the other guest we got here today, the man himself, known as Pancho. Hey, Pancho.
That 702 Eastside Click, Rebel Gang.
Hey.
Another beautiful Jqueezy in the morning, man.
Hey. That's just what he does, folks. That's just what he does. He comes in, he spits fire. Spits straight fire. As we all do. Got a special one for you. Pretty special one for you today. Nick's been researching so hard for the last 30 minutes.
I don't know if we could say that, but
But we have an abundance of amazing stuff to talk about. I can barely contain my words. They're just spewing everywhere. But it's gonna be a good one. Hey. So anyways, let's go through as we usually do. Let's do how was your day? A little segment that I came up with that probably has never been done before. But it's called How's Your Day? And just in case you don't know how it works is we go around and we ask everybody, how was your day? And they tell us how their day was.
pretty self-explanatory.
Sounds reasonable.
I just want to make sure that,
You want me to start off?
everyone understood.
No,
Yeah, Nick, why don't you start it? Yeah,
okay,
Nick,
yeah,
why don't you start it?
My day's pretty slow. I did a little bit of school.
Oh, you're telling your day. I thought
Yeah.
you were going to ask somebody.
No, I'm
Okay.
This is my
Like
day.
the
by the way.
polite thing.
Okay.
My day was pretty slow. I slept in.
Okay.
I didn't have any school.
Lucky
Did some
you.
schoolwork, but
Sounds amazing.
yeah, it was. And then I got the weekend coming up, so I didn't do shit.
The weekend. Does the weekend mean anything to you?
I don't think it should be considered a weekend.
Yeah, exactly. It should just
this
be
point.
another day. It's
No,
just another day.
more
Right?
stuff.
No,
More
there's no
stuff
doubt.
happens during the weekend.
Because other people that work are off.
Exactly. So there's more stuff to do during the weekend.
So your happiness is based off of other people having to work.
Not having to work. No, not having to work. On their days off are the better days.
Yeah, but they have to work to enjoy those
shit.
days off because you don't work and you wouldn't enjoy your days off unless other people did.
Okay, well, I think you're looking way too deep into this.
He's digging
So,
way deeper than
John.
So, anyways, how else?
right now, man.
What else happened?
No, that's about it. I'm not trying to go,
man,
it shouldn't be a
put it
30-minute
first.
segment.
Oh,
What happened in your
Draw.
day,
Okay.
John?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you start and then you ask me and I get to ask the next. Okay,
Mhm.
I see. Okay, here we go. My day was very stressful. Another day of trying not to fucking lose my job, not know what the hell I'm doing, trying to run a parts department at a major body shop. But other than that, just chill. We got beer because it was payday. And,
Damn, is that everything thing now?
Yeah,
Every Friday?
yeah, every payday.
That's so gangster.
Yeah.
They just bring beer to your job.
Yeah, put
like-
it
that
in
sounds
my
like my
fridge
job.
in my parts room.
Ooh,
And
so
I
he
have-
gets
I have
first
access
dibs.
to it.
First
I get
dibs.
to say who gets it and who doesn't.
And he gets one every time.
Yeah, I had 4 tonight.
Damn, I would too. I mean,
I
shit.
would have taken the fifth of the room. I mean, no, I wouldn't have.
Of course not. We never drink and drive.
Can't do
Ever.
that. Uber
No.
everywhere. Uber
That's the
everywhere.
worst thing to do ever.
Uber everywhere.
But anyways,
Never.
yeah. So that was my
Homie-
day, and then
homie
came
everywhere.
home and been chilling, playing video games. So pretty chill.
Invited the crew over,
Yeah.
decided to get the
Not
podcast
bad.
going.
Not bad. So Garrett, how was your day?
It was all right. I guess I was manager today too, if you want to know, because my manager was off, so therefore it's my department. And I actually had to tell some lady to start doing her job better, or shit was gonna go down.
Oh, you were gonna beat the shit out of her?
I was gonna beat the shit out of her.
Get down, bro.
Nah.
Don't mess
Garrett
with
threatened to
Garrett,
beat
dog.
the shit out of some
fuck?
chick.
Don't mess with
Oh
the
my
G-Man.
God.
It ain't
No,
G-Man.
it's
It's
not.
He's
No.
about to
G-Man.
get black eyes up in
No,
this bitch.
no,
He's
'cause-
about to fuck some chick up.
So tell us
No,
what happened. You walk up
shit.
to confront her because she hasn't been doing her shit.
Well, yeah,
you
because
pull
I
her
mean,
aside?
nobody's
Did you walk up to her or did you pull her aside?
gonna
Like,
tell
did
her.
you forcefully grab her and pull her aside and, like,
No,
give me her bitch?
hell no.
I'm gonna
I just
fuck you up.
I just
if you don't
calmly-
fucking do your
Damn.
job.
Okay, so the way we have it, we have our
Anybody
normal-
want to? Does anybody want to volunteer to grab beers?
uh,
What's up?
So we all know like mountain climbers go up to big time peaks, real snowy, crazy. So,
always looking to be the first to climb something.
Yeah, well, in the Himalayas in Pakistan, to be specific, I don't know the name of the mountain, but it's the 9th highest peak in the world.
In the Himalayas, for all you
Yeah.
don't know, that is where Mount Everest.
So it's among those peaks. It's among those peaks. Now, obviously, they didn't have the balls to do Everest, but they did this one.
Mm.
It says a Polish climber. It was actually a group of Europeans, but apparently they got lost while climbing because there's routes you could take, different trails, just like skiing, different difficulties.
Yeah.
They're trying to go to the 9th highest peak in the world. They get lost. They send out the rescue team. The Pakistan government does. Rescued most of them, but one guy apparently died, and they weren't able to get to him, and they said it was too much of a risk to even
Froze to
recover his
death.
body.
Yeah.
You know.
That's what happens on Everest, man.
But the majority of them, it said, were critical from frostbite and could lose
Oh, I
toes and
bet.
fingers. Yeah.
I bet you're talking 9th highest or 9th tallest. I bet they're easily up at about, almost 20,000 feet.
It says
At like 15 to
26,000.
18. Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's up there.
Dude, we're talking almost cruising altitude for jetliners.
Oh yeah,
That's cruising
that is
altitude.
cruising altitude.
Yeah, 25,000.
When your ears are
right?
popping and you're in the
Yeah.
airplane with your blanket, these
20
guys are up there with
yeah.
oxygen tanks on the side.
Yeah. Minus fucking 60 degrees probably.
Someone died
with
and
the
shit.
wind.
It was so cold they're gonna not even bring his body back for the funeral.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's frozen.
Why risk
Solid.
other lives trying to recover his frozen body?
That's exactly, dude. I watched a lot of stuff.
When it's
on
that high up
Everest,
too.
a lot of documentaries and stuff, and to the outside observer, it seems like it's just, it's that it's kind of, I guess, selfish, or it's crude way of thinking. But like Nick said, man, it's you're literally risking a lot of other lives at a very high percentage that they will die to get a body down, and
Well, because
you can't justify
the
other
hardest
people
part.
dying.
I know you brought up Mount Everest because that's famous. I know there's hundreds of bodies still up there.
Yeah.
And I know the big deal is obviously it's the man hours actually having to locate the body, but having to carry down,
Well,
150, 200 plus
You
pound
can-
with gear
it's
person.
not like you can drive something up there
Oh, yeah.
and get the body.
You can't even
have
fly
so-
the helicopter
People
up.
physically have
nothing.
to carry the body down. And from all the stuff that I've watched and interviews that I've heard and people talk about it, it is agony just trying to take a step on your own.
You can barely support your own weight.
Exactly, because the there's so little oxygen, and to move. I don't know if anybody that's listening knows this, but you need oxygen in your blood for your body to work. And when you don't have the oxygen in your blood, your body doesn't work, and your muscles start shutting down, and you just can't.
Isn't it kind of funny how, like a good reference to this is vehicles, the octane and fuel, that's the explosive part, and that's also what powers us.
That's
to a
why
certain degree.
helicopters can't get up there. Well, that and
Yeah.
the air is
The
too
lack
thin.
of oxygen, there's no weight to.
Well,
yeah.
also the air is way too thin for the blades can't push itself off at anything because there's
But
lack of air.
I
for
think
sure.
history's probably proven, if we were to look it up, that the majority of the time that they do try to recover these people in the past, it's a negative result. You're potentially losing more people. Probably have.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So.
Very few people have been ever rescued or bodies been rescued.
But
I guess if you want.
I think any climber that's good enough who's climbed little mountains and is going to adventure out and try something like this,
maybe.
knows the risk. Knows the risk.
Yeah, yeah, of course. You should always assume that. If not, then you're either oblivious or in denial, I would imagine.
So these guys weren't tourists. they were experienced mountaineers, and they were going up in the winter. But basically, from what I know, you look for like a break in the weather, right? You try to predict the weather.
Yeah,
Apparently,
before you take off. Yeah.
they were experienced climbers, knew what they were doing. Some of them even hit the peak before, but a bad weather just came in.
Closed in.
It came in quick, and that's how it happens.
That's how the majority, of it happens. Is it looks great, and then all of a sudden, 20 minutes later, it comes in just out of nowhere, and before you can do anything, you're just engulfed, and all you can do is try and hunker down and just wait it out and survive. And some of those storms, man, they can last days.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, how much food do you think people are really carrying? You know,
better hope.
Usually they'll carry just enough to get up and down, just enough calories, and then maybe a little like extra bar.
Try
somewhere.
staying warm over those days.
And you
Good
better
Lord.
hope to God there's no avalanche.
That's not even the worst. It's like what Nick said. It's the cold. It is so cold.
If you get caught in an
These
avalanche,
people-
you're fucked.
Oh, you're right.
You'd rather get caught in an avalanche and just be done with than freeze to death.
I guess too.
Dude,
Well,
it is so cold.
Do you think you'd be die instantly if you just were buried under a ton of snow?
The
Or do
majority
you
of the
think you
time,
would
they die
just-
from impact.
You'd
The majority.
probably, either
Oh,
impact
really?
or you would just suffocate.
Because you don't
I
just
was
go
gonna
into
say
the
you
snow,
would
you go with
suffocate
it.
under all that snow,
Yeah,
but
you would just pass
you-
out.
It's
you know-
like a solid wave hitting you.
I guess that would be quicker than
When you
freezing to
suffocate,
death,
you
right?
just can't breathe anymore, and your body passes out, and then you die while you're passed out. So you don't really.
Yeah, that would suck. Or that would be not as shitty as
Because
freezing
freezing
to death. Yeah.
Check this out. This is kind of an ironic, or I don't know if ironic's the right word, but kind of a really weird thing that happens when you freeze to death. When you start getting super hypothermic, obviously your body goes into uncontrollable shivers, trying to create some type of
Heat, motion, yeah.
Yeah. And the muscles just rapidly contracting and expanding. I'm good. But what happens is this euphoric state takes over.
Where you can't feel anything.
Yeah.
That's when you know it's the worst, yeah.
And not only that, which is actually kind of a cool thing, I guess, because if you're going to die, at least your body's like, it's giving you every endorphin and every like drug that it can produce to make you feel good, pretty much. Or not good, but to not feel shitty.
Yeah, let me speak
But
on
hold
that.
on. But one of the things is that you start to feel really hot. So as you're freezing to death, you start to feel like you're really, really hot. And that's why there are a lot of people that, like, bodies are found frozen to death on
Where
top
they've
of
stripped,
mountains where they're naked. And so, yeah, people will start taking their clothes off.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that weird? Like, the
Yeah.
body's almost like, okay, you're going to freeze to death. Let's just get this over with. Take all your clothes off. You're really hot. Take all your clothes off. And then you'll just be dead instantly.
So, let me ask you this: would you rather freeze to death or burn to death?
Freeze.
Is that a serious question?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. Well, you
Burning
made
to death
you
is
made
pretty
freezing.
much the worst thing you
Okay,
could
yeah,
ever
but and
have
that's
happen.
why I agree. But you kind of were making it like freezing to death would be extremely
It would be
painful.
extreme. Yeah,
Well,
it would be
be
extreme.
painful, but I was just bringing up the fact that it's a weird thing that happens where your body starts to tell itself.
on
it's
that
hot.
exact
it
note,
gets warm before you freeze.
I
So it
kinda
doesn't
feel like-
really, it's just your brain telling you that.
say like a wounded soldier in battle where they give them the morphine as they're going because they know they can't do anything for them.
Mm-hmm.
So you just die, but you're not in pain. You go with peace.
They're trying to
So
give you as
maybe
much pleasure as possible.
It's almost
or
like it's
whatever.
the body's own little drug just to ease the
Exactly.
pain.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily. I do like the thought that maybe the body is trying to just get you to end your life quicker. Like it's not making it painful, but maybe it's giving you a reason to take off your clothes so it's quicker.
Like natural suicide.
But I'm thinking that's just probably just a side effect of your body trying to just comfort you.
No, I'm sure.
It's
that-
freaking
no,
out at that
I'm sure
point.
if you look it up, there's probably a really good scientific explanation as to why.
but that is an
they do
interesting
that.
thought. That is
Yeah.
an interesting thought.
But yeah, it is kind of strange that happens, and it kind of gives you an insight to how strong your mind is,
Mm-hmm.
and how much we still don't even know ourselves about our own mind. It's pretty crazy.
Well, so many things are mental, and if you could block out nerves, or you know what I mean, like you see extreme athletes, people know to go through
yeah.
pain.
Well,
Guys walk on coals.
The Navy SEALs use the 30% rule, and they say that when you think you're tapped out and you just can't go anymore and you're done, that you're really only at 30% capacity of what you're truly
I've heard that
Yeah,
before.
to do.
yeah.
And it's true, man. It's really true, and it's just That's telling you that you don't even know what you're capable of until you literally have to do it. Is
it true that you could stay alive a lot longer if you huddled up with someone else naked? Or does that not mean it? Because I heard
you don't have to be naked.
I heard if you strip down that it keeps you warmer. No,
was this a Boy Scout camp?
I was in a Boy Scouts, but I thought that was like I thought
I've
I've heard
Catholic
that.
School,
you never heard
church
that.
Camp.
You never heard that.
Well, I know where you're getting at.
You're right on.
Skin to skin contact is better. But
I
don't think it really matters that much. And if it was skin to skin, you would still want to be huddled underneath like a blanket,
like a sleeping bag or some shit.
I think he is right.
Yeah.
I think it does really make a little bit of difference. But you're all
Especially
right.
if you're with a woman and you might die.
Well,
that would be
you might as well just fuck right now.
That would be different.
Oh, that would warm you right up, yeah. But
I mean, if it was life or death,
burn calories though.
If it was life or death, and that was a thing that would keep you alive for maybe a couple more hours to get help. I mean,
I would just huddle up with the homie. I wouldn't strip.
Not even down to your boxers.
No.
Well,
try to get as much
if
body warmth.
If it was truly like this is the only way, like we're gonna die and we have to do this. Like, of course I would.
Oh yeah.
There's no question about it.
Especially if it was like someone you love, or like your best friend, or
I wouldn't even fucking care about that. It could be a total stranger.
Mm-hmm.
I want to live.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree.
You don't want to die.
And at the same, and at the
it's
point,
simple.
Even if it's a stranger, it's you and him. So
it's
that's all you guys got.
You're
trying
survival.
to help each other survive.
So you shouldn't even have to try and justify it.
Oh yeah, there's no justification. Yeah.
I feel like it's just common sense.
If you
want to
that much of,
you do whatever it takes to live.
Yeah.
Doesn't
if you
matter.
have that much of, I guess it'd be homophobia or phobia of strangers, whatever it would be, to where you won't fight to survive, or you can't look over that. That's crazy.
Say it's more like fear of seeing someone naked, maybe. But yeah, maybe homophobia if it was dudes.
Or just phobia of just
I feel
being
like
naked.
Make any sense in that.
In a life and death situation, that doesn't really matter.
Well, I feel
it's
like
just
that's
like
more
if that's
of
what we gotta do, we gotta do.
Because I haven't heard the naked thing that much. I feel like that's more of it. If
I
you
have
get wet,
heard it before.
I've heard it before, but as long as you huddle
wet,
together, I feel like that's the main point. Is you huddle together.
Oh, of course. Well, the penguin. Look at penguins.
Yeah.
That's how they survive.
Mm-hmm.
All the males. And the ones on the
I
outside freeze to death.
I just didn't know if being naked was just a fluke, where like being enclosed would be. Well, cause I heard it was better than like if you just huddled together and you're all clothed.
This might sound crazy, but we should get naked. I have a funny feeling that it'll be better off. This could be a fluke, but
well, like obviously, if you could like wrap a bunch of blankets around yourself, yeah, it would work. But if you don't have any shelter, if you're hitting by the wind, it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, I guess I should have
So
brought that up.
Well, it all
if
depends
you
on the scenario.
had like blankets or a sleeping bag,
Yeah,
that would be the best.
If we had to, we all would to save our lives.
Yeah,
well, of course.
I think 99% of people would.
Yeah, like I don't even know why the discussion is like why you wouldn't.
It's not. I was asking if it was a really like would it be different? Would it be different than being clothed and huddling together? I get that it would be like that would be better if you didn't have anything to get under.
Well, like Nick said,
like
it would
keep the heat in.
It would definitely be situational for sure, but yeah, it could in circumstances definitely.
Well,
be
on the topic
more
of
beneficial.
Yeah.
On the topic of
survival. That's all I was asking. I didn't know if that was just a fluke or what. Like if someone.
Okay.
So yeah,
I heard it somewhere.
When you go camping with the girl next time, you can definitely.
Well,
use that.
definitely with a girl. No, anybody. You would probably huddle with her naked, even if it wasn't life or death.
I'm trying to make a joke, and you're being way too literal.
I'm just saying.
But speaking on this topic of crazy survival situations, today was a big anniversary of a famous, I guess you'd say famous U.S. person's death.
Mm-hmm.
No one would guess this, so I'm just gonna go into it.
I'm sure there's a lot of famous people that died today.
It isn't famous, but in 1986, for the shuttle launch Challenger,
the
space shuttle,
the teacher Peggy, right, or some shit like that. Susan.
I'm gonna have to say it up.
Just start rattling them off.
No, I remember learning about this in school.
Yeah, it doesn't say her first name. It keeps saying her last name. But anyways, Miss Krista.
Okay.
Basically, Krista McGuffle, out of 11,000 teachers or applicants, I don't know if it was teachers, was picked.
She passed all the training and everything. Yeah.
Gets up on the spaceship and didn't it blow up on takeoff or something like that?
While it was getting to altitude, and it ended up exploding.
In the atmosphere.
Everybody
saw
it.
Imagine that. you're a contest winner. Now, obviously, you know the risk if you're going to space back then. It's not gonna happen.
Oh,
But you don't even get out the atmosphere.
Well, not even then.
she was
now.
a contest winner.
She was picked. She
So-
had to apply, and she won, and she was picked. The one applicant. She
They
was
were
a
all
teacher.
teachers
Yeah.
across the
So
United
she had
States.
like no
I think they were-
astronaut like space.
I think they were science teachers.
Straight
Or
civilian.
something to do with science.
Yeah.
And all these teachers could apply. And it was out of 11,000 teachers in the U.S. that applied for it, there were like, I think, 6 or 8 of them that got picked. And then they went to NASA and they started doing training. And as you know, when you go through training and evaluation, certain people can't go through because they might have
Okay.
defects
That makes
in their
sense.
body.
That makes sense.
Then it gets narrowed down to probably like 3. And then after you go through the rest of your physical training,
Maybe an interview process,
and
whatever,
interview
yeah.
process, all of that, then the one person gets picked, and she was the one that ended up getting
I'm
picked.
picturing her getting picked, telling her whole class, because there probably wasn't periods. I don't know what grade
Oh,
she died.
I think they were watching on TV
Oh,
at school.
of course they were. Oh, they probably got the
How-
substitute
how
in. They probably got an
insane is
assembly.
that?
The whole school has an
school, yeah, with
assembly.
an assembly, it's a
The
projector.
principal's up there. Miss
And then
McAfee's.
boom.
What kind of
10,
teacher? Does it say what
9.
kind of teacher?
The
she
whole
was?
It
class
didn't
in there.
explode on the launch.
I
pad.
know, but it takes off their chair and then
Yeah,
up
and then boom.
Do you
it
think
just
they?
explodes.
Do you think it like they would be able to see it?
Yeah,
Or
it
you
happened
think
on
was-
live television. The explosion of the
Oh
rocket.
really?
Millions
Damn.
of people. Have you not seen the video?
Oh,
Jesus,
Dude,
man.
could you imagine just the student? I think the whole gym just went quiet.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, I'm sure they cut the feed immediately.
So she
like
was
the
just-
principal was probably like, they like unplugged the
So
shit.
she was just
It's like,
like,
all right, kids, let's go back to class. We're gonna.
Do you send the students back to class?
You have to just try and go
You
back.
would
you
to
just
don't.
give
normal.
them all the day off?
No.
You keep them in the gym or something, but you can't just. I don't even know
The
what
day-
to do.
yeah,
Could
like,
you imagine
the
being
day
the
has
principal
to
of that
be
school?
the counselor at the
The
school.
line to see
jeez.
students.
Jesus.
So, was she just like a normal like
Teacher.
middle school?
I think she
elementary
was like a
school?
science teacher or
Normal
something.
science
like that.
teacher.
Yeah.
She wasn't an astronaut or anything. She
Yeah,
just
she,
No.
she had no
But she
experience at all.
trained. Are you not listening?
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
heard she trained, but other than that,
she was basically a civilian. That
how
won.
long did she train for? Like,
Probably
Months
fucking 6
or-
months or so.
Probably some type
Once,
of short
okay.
bit
once
of
she was
astronauts.
picked to go, she trained with the crew as
Okay.
if she was a crew member.
okay,
Like, you can't just
Mhm.
send up a guy that fucking just won a contest yesterday.
well,
They would fucking fuck
I didn't know
everything
you
up.
could just send someone up who just won a contest like 6 months ago.
Well, like John said,
I thought you had to send up like one of your like best people. Aren't they going? Where was she trying to go?
I believe it's just into the atmosphere. I don't remember.
Oh, so she wasn't
Maybe
like trying
orbit.
to go to like to moon or like anywhere.
No, they
Well-
were going to the space station.
Alright, well, let me
probably,
summarize this
or-
for Garrett.
or going
So
into
everyone else on the spacecraft was the best of the best that we had to offer.
Oh,
And then,
damn.
like John said, a
They
bunch
were
of teachers. We
astronauts.
wanted to send one civilian teacher there, and we
Uh.
picked a few and found the best applicant. And she,
It
went
was a
through
P-
some sort of
It
training.
was a PR publicity
Yeah.
thing, like
Oh.
that they did back in the '80s.
And I'm
Okay.
sure it probably got a
push
lot of
more
views.
space exploration, and to pretty much the whole thing of it was to justify spending more money
On the space
on
program.
a space program.
Send a
on
science
NASA.
teacher up there. Everyone's
Yeah.
excited.
Get the kids excited, make kids want to get involved in
In
space.
space, man, they're learning about the
Which
solar
space
system.
is awesome, yeah.
yeah.
It's amazing.
There's
So,
just
yeah.
so much you would never you'd be
So,
able to
So
learn
that's what the
anything.
whole thing was.
Rest in peace, Miss Krista.
I know, man.
I feel like the space
And the
is-
rest of the crew.
And the rest
as
of the
well.
crew,
Yeah.
obviously.
I
but-
mean, I don't know. Food for thought, I guess.
Yeah.
But, you know.
But so before we get away from this topic, because I wanted to touch on something, you talked about we were talking about culture,
Mhm.
and obviously I love the quote of the day that we've been doing now, but I think we should use some cultural differences of the day.
Okay.
I think that's another topic.
Okay. So what culture are we going to?
Well, I was gonna do a difference. I think it's Japan. It could be another Asian country, and actually I have a bunch of these because I love these, man. I love the differences in these cultures, little things.
Mm-hmm.
But I read somewhere, I think it's Japan or Korea, where when you eat your food, whether it's at a restaurant or someone made it, you're not supposed to clean your plate. It's bad to clean your plate. You're always supposed to leave. Obviously,
little bit.
it's insulting, obviously, not to touch the food. But you're
Mhm.
supposed to leave a bite or two.
What?
Mm.
Because this is...
Oh, is that for like the ancestors or something?
Well, no. That's why I thought maybe at first, but someone explained it to my friend did. He said, if you eat all the plate, it's as if you're saying, that wasn't enough for me.
Oh, yeah. I have heard that.
Oh.
Now
Yeah.
that you say
You
that,
didn't
I have
provide me
heard
with
that.
enough.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
if you eat all but just a
If
little
you-
bit, you're like,
you're
okay,
saying
that
that
was
was
full, and
just
it was
enough.
just, yeah.
Yeah, that was perfect
Mm-hmm.
amount.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I'm sure with foreigners, there's leniency.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't just
Yeah.
eat your whole plate
There
and
always
then
is.
do the old like, nope, I'm full. Like
No.
Thanksgiving thing.
Well, I think
That-
that would be rude even here.
Yeah.
to
Well,
like
that
pull your stomach out
Yeah.
and start slapping
not
it.
pull your stomach out. Sorry.
no. Yeah. It would. It's a cultural insult. So it's just interpreted differently there. They'd be like, "Oh, this guy didn't get enough.
Yeah.
Mom, you didn't make
So
enough food to feed the people
if you
that you
leave
invited
food
over."
on your plate, do they still come around and ask you if you want dessert?
I don't
There's
know.
There's no such thing as dessert in Asian culture.
What? They don't have any.
I think it's not a part of the
So,
meal. It's
any-
a separate
any
little
type of
snack
dessert.
type deal, right?
Yeah, there's no dessert.
Like you'd go to a treat.
Sweets, the only sweets they have in Asian culture would be fruit. So if you wanted dessert, like when I was in Singapore, like for pretty much for dessert, we would just have like oranges and
Well, isn't
strawberries.
that nature's
and
dessert, natural sugar sweet? Yeah.
Natural sugars.
So yeah, culture difference of the day. Don't clear your plate in some of these Asian countries. But I also wanted one more thing before we go on to the next topic, because I have a few good ones.
Okay.
But you said something about the New Year, the pollution, the wind, the papers blowing around
Yeah.
in China, because they all do it at the same time.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if you guys have heard this. Is a real funny story, but apparently the piping in Korea, a lot of the sewers are really old. You know what I mean?
You think?
Yeah. It's really old sewage system.
Yeah.
So they do this thing once a year where at one point in time, in one day, they all flush at the exact same time. The entire country does.
Jesus.
And it just helps clean out the system, and it actually works.
Oh yeah, because you're getting all that water
Yeah.
pressure.
It's all coordinated where you're just sending all that extreme pressure.
It's like a New Year's countdown.
Do they-
3,
yeah.
2,
Do
1.
they announce it
Happy
on
New
like
Year.
like whatever like a
Oh, I'm
news
sure you have
thing?
to. You have to coordinate it.
Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah.
it's TV, radio, but it's
Yeah.
probably, they tell them ahead of time it's the exact time.
It's like a holiday. Yeah.
Yeah. And everybody does it.
That's cool.
Talk about a real simple fix that just takes everyone to just get
Well,
involved.
That's Asians for you, man.
Yeah.
They're all about the simplicity.
Oh, yeah, great.
you know,
Great.
doing things as efficient and as simple as possible.
Could you imagine that they're like in their political meeting where they're like, dude, we got to replace the sewer system. And then just little Wong, and that might be a little racist.
Yeah.
It probably is. But little
So-
Wong
so
says,
what if-
we just all flush at the same time?
How about we just
So
flush
what
the
if
whole
ju-
toilet
what
at
if-
the same time?
What if one of the flushes is just someone's just took a dump? So that's covered.
Oh, that's fine.
Well, it
Oh,
doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter. Well, isn't that why you're cleaning it out?
Well, they're just they're trying to increase the
I
pressure. So
wonder-
if there's any clogs in the pipes, it's just
You know, my question would be, I wonder how they assign the people to the toilets.
I'm assuming you're responsible for your own toilet.
Well, okay. Well, that's given.
Now,
yeah,
you could
no,
say,
I
what
think
if
he's talking
someone's at
about in the
work,
same family.
public,
No,
public facilities.
What I'm saying is public facilities.
Oh,
Like you look at the casinos here.
they
got
probably
quite
have.
a few stalls and toilets
I'm
in
thinking
there.
Well, they
employees
probably,
must
they
have
probably
to
have
go
their
in.
own employees to do it
I guess you could do 2 to each one if you could read like the
for urinals and
the
stuff.
urinals. Yeah.
I don't think the exact timing, because it's hard to get everyone at the same time. I'm sure if
Yeah.
there's 5, 10, 15-second delay.
Well, also
okay.
if it's Japan, they have the very advanced toilets. They could maybe do it electronically.
Had they needed to, they could just, the governor
Flush 'em
pushes
all
a
at
button,
once.
everyone's toilet
Wait,
flushes.
they have
Yeah.
advanced toilets?
Garrett, they have the
I
nicest
thought
toilets in
our-
the world.
Have you
Really?
you
I
know.
thought we had
He's
the
so
bidet.
clueless.
I thought that was the shit.
They have the bidet built into the toilet, and the bidet's French, by the way. That's
Yeah,
why it's called
it
a
is.
bidet.
I'm not saying that we made the bidet.
No,
I'm
but-
saying that we had I thought the bidet was like a shit, like a fucking fancy ass toilet.
And a lot of Asian countries
Yeah,
are
it's a
known,
separate toilet.
are
You have
known
to
for
get up
having
and go
shitty
over to the
toilets.
the bidet.
but a lot of Asian countries are known for having poor.
Well, Japan.
Yeah. China, a
For
lot of Asian
sure.
countries are known for having
Wait.
bad toilets, bad
Oh,
plumbing.
yeah. You have
What
to
did
squat,
you just say?
the
It's
squat
a
toilets.
separate toilet,
The bidet is,
yeah.
it's a separate
so you can't
appliance.
shit in there and then use it.
No.
You have no idea what a
Oh
bidet
my
is.
god, yeah.
A bidet is a water fountain that washes out your ass.
Yeah.
That's the best description I can give you.
It's like a toilet with no tank on the back.
It's just a little water
and it
fountain.
just squirts water up in the air.
Wash your booty hole.
I feel like that's just ridiculous. Like
It's more sanitary.
I thought you could take your business and then at the end it had its own little.
In Japan, it does.
Yeah, in Japan it's all
It has
one.
like a little arm that comes out and squirts
It's
your butt.
heated. The toilet will talk
Yeah,
to you.
that toilet seat's warm. You can warm it.
You could have it pre-programmed to heat up at a certain time, so when you wake up
Yeah,
for your morning poop.
exactly.
I thought that was the only toilet Mike and Susie had in their bathroom. Remember
I
when
never used theirs.
Mimi had? I thought she said she took her business and used it. That shit.
Well,
wiped
I
it
mean,
all
we're
out.
being honest with you, and we know that is a setup.
A setup.
That bidets are separate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a friend that has one.
unless like we're
It's
saying
just awkward.
it's a toilet that has the thing, and you can get even they're like attachment bidets for your regular toilet, and so you can turn your regular toilet into a bidet. I've heard that they're pretty cool. But yeah, if you have like a old school bidet setup, it's your toilet, and then the bidet is next to it.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I
You
see.
see it
Where
now?
this tank that's on the side,
Yeah, yeah.
and there's what
And you
just
just
a
kinda-
hose that come like.
You just kind of either hover or sit on it, and then there's like a little lever or something.
So it's not like
turn
a
it on
separate
and
toilet.
it
You just
squirts your
move a
butt.
little bit to the left or to the right, wherever
It's
you have
separate.
it.
No, it's a whole separate toilet.
It's whole separate. It could be close. It's not going to be like across the, like
No,
in a different
usually it sits right next to it.
3-4 feet away maybe.
Yeah.
But it is a separate entity, separate thing.
Yeah.
We're getting way
looks
too
like a-
deep.
I know, this is like way too much.
The pictures aren't going to prove anything. We know for a fact that's how it is. Just take our word out of the image we're painting for you.
Go do your research later.
Ooh,
Anyways,
that-
moving
I feel
on.
like
It
we
doesn't
pointed.
make any sense to me. Like I don't know why you would have
Of course
two
it
different
doesn't,
things.
you've never grown up with that.
One of them you don't actually poop in, Garrett. That was just, it was before.
Yeah, well, why would you poop and then go over to the other one?
Because
and
that's
use a
just
bidet.
how they're thinking.
that's how they
Instead
put
of
in their
using
butt.
toilet paper, and when you didn't have toilet paper,
So you're
that's
gonna
how you,
walk over to a different thing with a shitty ass.
it's
and
right next to it. It'd be like me moving from here
It's
to
a
that
scooch.
chair.
It's a scooch.
And
You're not pulling
you either
up.
squat over it or
But
you
this
have a
thing-
seat and you sit down and
And
it washes
You know
your
what?
butt.
Maybe the arguments you're making, Garrett, is why it hasn't caught
Well,
on in American
I
culture.
don't know what
Maybe.
that. Have you?
That's an advanced one. That's what I'm saying. That's the one that you can attach to it. Look
What-
up old.
Okay,
Look up
Lowe's. Do they have Lowe's in China?
Look up an original.
That's
I
no.
just said that you can buy them
No,
now.
I'm getting pissed off.
I know, me too.
I'm getting pissed off about this bidet. First off, that's what he's saying is in advance. It's not. That's just an attachment you could buy for any toilet.
Yeah.
What he's talking about in advance, basically picture a robot toilet. That's just a Japan toilet. It's all built in. It comes with it.
Yeah.
The bidet is basically a toilet, like you said. It has no back. It's just like a little bowl. That's a water fountain to clean your booty hole.
It comes from France
Mm-hmm.
and it's
It ha-
old. It's
it
like
hasn't
from the
caught
1800s.
on here, yeah. But it was.
But yeah, it is kind of like a water fountain that you sit.
Well,
over
water is
it.
commonly used in other countries, dear,
Of course.
but
Well,
not.
It's more cleanly.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
more sanitary.
Think of the baby wipe, our form of
So
that.
yeah, especially countries that maybe had disease and stuff, they
Mhm.
would go to bidets and to be a little more sanitary,
Yeah.
make sure you're more a little more clean. And a lot of these people, they didn't bathe very often.
Yeah, bathing wasn't done every day.
Yeah. Have you look up original bidet
I am.
photo? Okay.
Can we?
okay,
if we say
good.
the word bidet
yeah,
again, I'm gonna
okay.
fucking.
Yeah,
lose
we're
it.
done.
No bidet questions.
And
These viewers are just like,
I know.
what
they're
am I gonna
losing
put in
it.
the description for this?
They're
15-minute duvet bit?
Yeah.
Or
If
I
you
don't
even
fucking
get
know.
another one going, we've done like 5 podcasts.
Well, I got 5 podcasts worth of bidet shit right here for it.